Buen día.
Hola.
Buen día.
Buen día.
Buenos días, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, Antonio.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello. I don't know what is happening.
Good morning. Buen día.
Buen día. Welcome, Lena.
Nice
Yes,
day to you.
welcome. Good morning from Dresden, from Germany.
Guten Morgen.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Thanks a lot that I could participate today.
Yes, we are glad to
Good
have
morning.
more participants from Germany. It's important for us. So,
Okay.
just for those of you that are new, okay, this is a meeting of the European Alliance Against Coronavirus. It's a open group to not only cluster but also participants from any volunteer organization fighting against the coronavirus. We try to think about what can we do in this fight together. We try to build links and to share information and also to act over it. Okay. What you are seeing in the screen is what we decided to be our common rules. The idea is that we are going to speak about 1 hour of very intense topics, so we need to go to the point, straight to the point, with very short intervention. There are a lot of experts here on what we are going to speak about, and so we need to value the time. Usually we split the intervention in 3 blocks. One is about concepts, the second one is about needs, identifying clear needs, and the third is about solutions. Today it will be a little different because we have with us, I don't know if Marek, yeah, welcome Marek. We have with us Marek, sorry.
Yes, good morning.
Sorry, Marek, because the pronunciation, I am sure it's not right for me. Sreor, from DG Regio, he will update us about new information on funding scheme in the fight against coronavirus, okay? And we will take also sometimes to ask for any doubt or need for clarification on the information that we received from Marek some days ago. And the proposal is to work on the second block on the question that the director Slavek Torskowski give us past Monday. Okay, the questions are related to about how best to focus the funding schemes that are being created in Europe. How best to use them in a way that really help our society and our enterprises. Okay, and that's the proposal. And without more delay, Marek, welcome, and it's your time. Do you want to present?
Yes, good morning. I just wonder if how, because the point is in GoToMeet, as a commission, we cannot use GoToMeet.
Okay.
So I cannot use it from my corporate. So I'm using my private, and I don't have camera here because my daughter is using for e-learning. So I just, yeah, sure. Can you give me 3 minutes? I will put this on the.
No problem. No problem.
On the. Okay.
No problem, Marek. I can introduce for those that are new the question in the second block. Okay. you know that the Commission has announced the creation of a rapid alert function, and we were speaking past Monday. Well, we have been speaking during all this week about the possible tags for that rapid alert function, and one of the areas is the definition of funding schemes. Okay, so we have the possibility to think about that and propose. For sure, the Commission will decide, but we can propose. Okay, and we have been asked about our opinion. Okay, the main questions are on the second. Sorry, I will share my screen again. Yeah. Are there in the second block where the money should go to make sense? What type? Sorry, not time. What type of financial products will be the best suited? And can we give liquidity and at the same time foster green and digital transformation? Those are the main challenges, okay, that we should think about today. That's the proposal. And I have corrected the text, okay. And I don't know if Veronica, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. I think that Veronica and Ilaria have some questions about the funding schemes that we were discussing also in previous sessions. Marek,
Yeah.
if
Do you want me to pose them again? Okay.
yeah, perhaps while Marek get ready, you could present them. Veronica?
Sorry. Are you waiting for Marek? Yeah, okay. Sorry. Do you want me to just to repeat the questions? Okay.
Yeah, it will
right?
be good.
So so thanks again to okay. So the questions, so let me read them. So the idea was that when Mike for the first time introduced the decision of DG Regio to use the unallocated structural funds for the programming period 2014-2020. Overall, it was talking about 37 billion euros provided by regions, or I mean, at the territorial level. So my misunderstanding was, I didn't understand it, was we were talking about unallocated money that was already in the hands of regions. I understood it was real fresh new money. So this is good anyway, because of course this means that we have the availability of 37 billion euros at European level, but in the practical sense, a region like mine, I live in Tuscany, and I think that the Lombardy region, where Ilaria comes from, are in Italy one of the two regions that performed very well in the implementation of structural funds. So this means that our regions won't have money and won't have unallocated money to use for the purposes of recovery for COVID. And since Marek introduced that money should be used for operational capital of companies. I'm talking about grants, of course, of SMEs, okay? And this is really what SMEs need now. And when I say now, I need today. in 2 weeks, it's too late. In 3 months, it's too late now. Okay, it said for this, for medical expenses and for research in the health sector. So this was very good. But at the same, and what I remember very well, it said, be aware your regions must not lift, must not impose some gold plating. Okay, no extra conditions. So if we say operational capital of SMEs, so meaning salaries and yes, and the like, and yes, we mean this. And be aware of no gold plating. And what I see now is, first of all, a great delay in taking decisions, at least at Italian regional level. And what I hear is that maybe I see that, of course, it could be good to link expenditure of this money to Green Deal, digitalization. But what I say with respect is that be aware not to create some gold plating, because if we need liquidity for operational costs, this is not the time to propose money for investment. Just this.
Thank you. Thank you, Victoria. Marek, are you ready now?
Yeah, I'm, and I think I could share. I don't know. Okay.
I'm giving you the presentation. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I'm struggling. Responding to your question, there is a legal process which takes usually half a year. In this case, it takes 1 month, and the regions right now are getting. Let me. I'm quite confused now because I have the presentation, which I cannot open, and
Marek, we are not seeing your screen. You are not sharing your screen yet.
yeah, I'm sharing. Sorry, I have some technical issues. Anyway, responding to your question, there are. Okay, I think we will not make it. So let me go through.
Yeah, don't worry, no problem.
Without the presentation, I'm first of all, there is the you titled the whole. May I put in chat? Yeah, maybe I can put in chat the web page so that you can go to and because just first let me explain one thing. I'm right now still in the capacity of DG Regio. In 2 weeks, in 90 days, I will become I will replace Carsten in DG Grow. So I will take the cluster policy story, and then I will work on you on daily basis. At this moment, I'm still doing on Regio, and this is lots of things, and I'm quite intensively used before I leave. So I don't have what I would like to have with you, and this is yeah, let me, yeah, I copied the link.
On the chat?
Um,
We are not seeing it yet.
I copied a link on the chat, and this is
Okay.
yeah, okay, yeah. So I think because this is the most comprehensive web page on all the measures which are done on the coronavirus, and if you can,
I am showing.
and this is something that pardon?
Is it?
You can see it?
Yeah, it's in the screen. I think that everybody is seeing it now.
Yeah. Okay. So if you go from the very beginning, it's all the measures. Yeah. And when we go through this, this is, you know, how many billions with different everything with EIB, with so when I joined the DigiGo, we'll go through each of them and which one could be very relevant for clusters at this very moment. So if we go through this, I think the one which is relevant is this one which is sure on 2nd of April. The Commission launched the initiative for mitigating unemployment risk and emergency. So this one, and but I will need to get people from employment to explain this. Then the other one, if you go down, Antonio.
Yeah, I'm going down. Where? To.
Yeah. If we go down, then we have securing business and supporting jobs. So we have sure. So go up. Go up.
Sorry.
Up.
Yeah, here, no?
Yeah.
No, yeah, securing business and food? No. No.
Yeah, it will be so. Yeah, here is a sure. Yeah, and here we have this step.
Yeah.
So this is very much 100 billion euro, which go. But for this, we will. I think it will be worth as well to get someone from employment to go through this. Then we have this protecting small and medium size, the actions with the European Fund. So here as well, all the information you can get, and we can go through in details later when I join the unit. Then we have, I know there are some clusters which are food related. So there is this food European aid from DevCo, but as well agriculture below, support for the agricultural sector. So this will be, these are measures and details there. For fishing industry clusters, if there are some, and then some measures relating to protecting European assets, which is relevant as well, so that we are not bought out by Chinese, for example. VAT on imports may be less relevant at this very moment, but trade will come. So in post-COVID, fiscal rules, I would skip it as not at this moment most important. This one is the most important now. Stated actions. Yeah. So what I can I'm dealing now with this ERDF and stated actions. You have stated actions, and here you have temporary framework stated. And when you go, so these are all information. You see that direct grants up to 800,000 per country, and these are the stated actions are particularly relevant for ERDF and cohesion funds, because this is state aid. So all this temporary framework is now in place and enforced, and it now depends very much country by country, because what the countries are doing are submitting to the Commission the state aid notifications, and all the state aid notifications, you can have an overview of approved cases under the temporary framework when you go down. So for your countries, you can see what is the state of and what kind of framework it is. So what is financed in details. Huh? And if you go for overview of approved cases, this is country by country. And here you have all information: when, what is the scheme, how much money, for what. Huh? This is so vast. You need to dig in what you are interested in. But the most important for this is this, for me as from the region, is this 800,000 free grant. Then supporting the public, yeah. So this is state aid scheme. Then when we come back, then we have supporting the public short-term export credit markets. This is something which I, to be honest, no idea yet. And here goes down the ones which I'm dealing with my colleagues. I'm just referring to what they negotiate. I'm not in the negotiating team. I mean, there's a special task force in the Commission which is working on this. So I'm only reporting what is done. But there are two packages. One was not sufficient, which was I presented last time. So there was the second one. And for this, what has happened since we've discussed? The member states, once this is adopted by the Council and the European Parliament, it starts to be in force. And for this coronavirus response regulation was adopted on the 1st of April, and since then the member states could start amending operational programs. The amendment of operational programs goes in parallel to actions they can do. So they are doing the calls at the same time when amending, and it will be still eligible, any operations. But it depends very much on the region, how they and the member state, how quickly they react. And so for this, there were two main elements. Once we extended the scope of thematic objective 1, which goes for any support for healthcare equipment, healthcare innovation, healthcare medical medicaments. So this is whatever cost they are now done, they are eligible for this from TO1. And here comes the question: if this is new money. There's no new money from EU as such from the EU budget. There's EU budget, and the European Commission can operate within the EU budget, reallocate resources. We are not producing money. Yeah? We can influence so that we leverage EU money and have the guarantee schemes, loan schemes, which then we are leveraging. But from the European regional, from European Social Fund, and there's a limited budget, and we are just shifting and enabling this money, making it more flexible and easy to use, just for coronavirus. So 37 billion euro, which was in the first package, plus included now 28 billion with anything else. And available money for 2014-2020, then all of this gives this more than 50 billion euro of commitments, availability for the member states and regions to use it within the limits they have, within the budget limits that the European Union has, European Commission has in these funds. So if you say that this is not fresh money, it is fresh money in the sense that the scope has changed. It has completely shifted from all the objectives we had into possibility to be used by member states and regions for COVID. And here the second package is actually very much for the procedures for the amendments, flexibility, and so that the member states and regions can do it very easily without but the second package will only be in place, I mean enforced on Friday, because it was adopted last week by Parliament. Now will be adopted by the Council, so it will be enforced only only this week. It was the fastest way ever happened, yeah, because you need to the Parliament, to the Council, so there's regulation. So now at the same time there is going work with our colleagues in geographical desk. They are amending operational programs. So we've been receiving amendments of operational programs requests by the member states, by regions. This work is happening, and some, of course, they can act already, and it will be eligible. But just responding to your let's say disappointment that 37 billion is something that it was within the it wasn't for this purpose. This was available now for this purpose, and of course it depends very much on the envelope the member states and regions have. What now the second package gives, it gives the member states the flexibility to shift resources between funds, between European Social Fund, between European Regional Development Fund, Cohesion Fund, as the needs are, and between categories of regions. So within the regions, they can shift the money where the highest needs are. But this is the member states to decide how they do it, or regions when they have operational program authority. So this is responding to your question, if this is fresh money and why it's not yet in place. In some places it is, in some places it's not. For Tuscany, I would need to look exactly what is the money available. This is still remains it's not flexibility between member states, so that I clarify, it's not between the money shift between the member states. There is the letters on the 13th of March, and I think I distributed this last time, the link, so that you can see for each country what is the available amount of money. We are operating within the limits, within budgetary limits, changing to the maximum the flexibility of procedures, so that the money goes quickly, without burden, and changing the scope. And then as well the eligibility, like in terms of working capital, that actually right now even the mid caps could be financed as far as financial instruments are concerned, for this purpose, so to improve the working capital and liquidity of the companies. So I don't know if you're satisfied with this answer, but the thing is that European Commission operates within the budget. Today is a particular day because the Council will discuss MFF. We'll discuss as well how much money is available for the European Union. And we don't know how MFF will be shaped right now. So saying this for the future MFF, which is now being discussed today, we'll see. We will discuss it when I come to the cluster unit. We will discuss it in depth and go through each single item from New Horizon Europe through ERDF and smart specialization policies and so on. But at this very moment, we are operating within what is residual from the 2014-2020, and this residual, it's a commitment of 56 billion euro, which can be available for COVID purposes. Yeah, this is at this very moment. There is as well the team created on coronavirus. We were Sherpas from each member state, where all the questions and interpretations are put by the member states and are explained for structural reforms. This is something which you can post indirectly to if you have doubts about interpretations to the member state who is responsible, which then transfers is for interpretation, but it's for interpretation question as far as interpretation is concerned. I can give you some interpretation responses which are now being official, but this is now being updated, and the package, the second package, this flexibility, will be in place, as I'm saying, only on Friday. Yeah. So this flexibility of shifting between the regions, between funds, possibility for the member states. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Marek. I understand the second package is the 28 billion, sorry.
The first package was about 8 billion, which were supposed to be refunded to the European Union because the money were for the commitment, not used, so they would be lost by the member states and regions. They can be used now, so you can say this is fresh money because otherwise the member states would lose it. And then the 29 billion euro that you can see is the money which is left with thematic. Yeah, the second, which is which was left not spent from thematic objective 1 mainly, and then now 28 billion. It is the increase that it can from any specific objectives. Yeah? So it's like extended the possibilities. So any available money which still are there and are not contracted or are not used, there can be used as well. I mean, particularly for COVID, if member state and regions want it. It's not obligation. No? As well. The regions hit by coronavirus differ. The envelope differs. There are some regions which are not hit very much by coronavirus, and they, for now, I don't know, but they have now the flexibility and opportunities to use it or to prepare if they are hit. So at the same time, there's this small 800 million when you can see is for the Solidarity Fund. It's for the member states to apply just for any crisis situations, and as far as I know, Italy, Austria, and to others applied for this scheme. But this is this is as well for probably for COVID crisis. So this is the, and in shared management this goes naturally, of course, by all the system of calls, steering committees, which can approve measures after. So if there's a managing authority which is in a big need, they can do it immediately, like by medical equipment or support the unemployed or keep SME running through working capital. Yeah? Thank you very much. And I'm sorry, I mean, it's not that it happened, you know. Once we on the 13th of March we the proposal, the second proposal, the first proposal on the 2nd of March, it goes through Parliament, the Council goes, and then it processed so that the member states have a legal basis to do so. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. Marek,
so the whole
this is Jorge
actually,
Gonzalez from.
Yeah.
Hello, Marek.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'm Jorge Gonzalez from DigiMed. I just put a copy-paste text in the chat where it mentions about the promotion of research and innovation, and it states there some indications about that. My question is, so I understand the regions, when they get the share of this budget, they can implement instruments addressing this text. Is this correct? So they can use the money to promote business investment in research and innovation, development links and synergies between enterprises, research, development, blah, blah, blah. That is correct, right? The regions can leverage this
was with
for
this was without COVID, yeah? this was in thematic objectives
Sorry?
1. This is without profit promotion of research and innovation.
It is basically mentioned in the amendment that it has been done. It is taken from the document. So my question is, when do you, in the sunny weather scenario, when do you think that regions will be able to start implementing instruments with that budget, for example, for this research and innovation promotion actions? How now today, imagine that everything goes well, that today the council approves. What are the next steps and what is from your side, when it will be available?
It's now the managing authorities to launch calls. Huh?
Yeah, but usually in your experience, say today the council says yes. Today we have the green light from the north. In your experience, how long usually the managing authorities take?
Some are not waiting for this, and they are already preparing. So some can launch it immediately. Some, I think, within, if there is the managing authority which doesn't launch it within 1 month, it means they don't want it, they don't need it, or they have really big administrative issue within the regions and how to proceed.
So wait a minute. So can they launch it? I mean, can they launch it even? I mean, what happens with the money transfer? They can launch the activities, and when do they receive the money? Do they receive the money first and then they have to launch it, or they can already launch it without the money because they know that the money will come?
Yeah, the money will come. They can launch it, yeah? and then the money will come. So they can launch it if this is under if this is within the package of the operational program they have, yeah? Or it's agreed with the member state that the transfer can happen between funds and categories of regions.
I'm sorry for insisting. It is now the regions that they can do it independently, or they need some kind of approval at national level before they can launch their regional initiatives?
With the money they have in operational programs, which they are responsible for, they can launch it immediately. Yeah? They can launch it immediately, and then it can be approved by the steering committee. But if there is a need of, if there is a region which doesn't have enough money, or is particularly impacted by the corona, then they would need to have a shift of funds. And the shift of funds must be decided by the member state.
Okay. How do we know? Sorry, how do we know? Yeah. How do we know if the region has?
Just one moment, Jorge. Let Marek speak, please. Marek.
Yeah. No. So just if you have the region, and the region has the envelope with money for European Social Fund, Cohesion Fund, and European Regional Development Fund, they can shift the money immediately when they want. Yeah. But if you have the country like Italy or Spain, where you have different categories of regions, and they would like to shift the money from one region to another region, then of course this is something that must be decided by the member state. Yeah? But they can do it.
Okay. Thank you. More questions?
Can I make a question?
Do it, please.
Yes, to Marek, please, and thank you for, all explanation. But since, again, we are talking about specific money, because unallocated, for me, unallocated means unspent, okay, money that the regions had to spend in this period, and they did not spend, okay? So, and you said correctly that no shift. Yeah, that no shift between countries is possible. So my question is,
no.
Do you have, and can you hear me?
Yes. Continue, please, Veronica.
Okay, so the question is, you should know exactly what amount of money, of an allocated money, is available per each country, right? Because you know what regions. Yeah, is it available, this overview? Because of course now we are talking about
absolutely.
general amount of money, and someone could think that making 37 billion divided per 27 countries, okay, and you have a more or less a rough idea of what amount is available. No, it's not like this. So the regions and the countries that were, that performed better, I suppose Sweden maybe, though it was not so much affected by COVID, but had a great performances in spending this money in the programming period. Okay, so maybe Sweden has no money to allocate under this instrument. Okay, so so if you have this overview and if you can share it with us. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. This is publicly available, and this is in the email these are in the letters which were sent by our commissioners to each member state. I will if not now, I will send to Antonio so that he distributes. I did already. This is in my previous emails, but I will, because you need to go. I will highlight exactly where it is, because then you go for each country, and in each country you go and you find out how much money is available. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I confirm what you are saying. It's not 37 by divided. It's just it depends on the member states. Yeah?
Thank you, Marek. More questions.
Still, good morning. Still about this subject. In each country, there were applications subject to analysis, not yet decided. Does this mean that this kind of money goes priority with priority to coronavirus, and the rest of the applications and calls will gain a second place, let's say?
I think, to be honest, this is very much depends on administrative capacity of the region and member state, how they prioritize. If they are in a big problem with coronavirus, I would prioritize to have the calls and shift resources for the analysis of applications for coronavirus rather than for the others. If they have resources to cover both, but you know, it's the subsidiarity principle and how they manage. It's as well shared management. So this operational management is left to regional authorities, to managing authorities, be it national or regional level. It depends on their capacities to process.
Thank you.
But you know, if I was in a region with a coronavirus problem, I wouldn't even think about it. It's a clear priority for me.
Thank you. More questions.
But for this, we are not imposing. I mean, as said, this is not the money that they have to, must use for the coronavirus. The member states and regions have possibility, but they are not obliged. Very important.
Thank you. More questions?
Yes, I have another question. Ilaria speaking from Italy. It's a practical one from Lombardia region. Does this upstream flexibility in the use of the funds correspond to more flexible management and reporting rules, or at least more suited to the situation? Because they say that otherwise we find ourselves with the usual bottlenecks, and the way we report expenditures obviously impact the way we can use it.
I can send yes in the second package with all this flexibility and management of this is included, and then now we have been receiving the questions from the member states on interpretations, and it goes in very details of the managing the procedures, and I can only confirm it is more flexible and less let's say less reporting and less auditing, or not that tough is included there. But this is very details. I mean, if you have the concrete question with concrete, then I could refer, or it's better because I cannot give official interpretations. It's not my authority. It's there is the special website for the member states where they there's all interpretation question. They put all the interpretation question. It's all available. There's a platform. The people who are dealing with the European structural investment funds with the RDF, they know it very well, and then you can post to your managing authority in the region or the member states if you have an interpretation. If there were, I will tell you now, 375 questions regarding this. So there are lots of from basics to more complex. and they have access to this information, so they can channel if there is something that they know it's not on this platform. They can pose the question that you pose.
Thank you.
I had one question concerning two aspects, Mike. The first is what kind of expenses are eligible in this kind of calls, and what amount of financing, what rate of financing is supposed to be done?
The eligibility rules are set up in the operational programs by the steering committees in the member states, but the main scope of what can be financed is already in the regulation. So you can so basically we are always, without COVID, we are always supporting long-term investments, particularly from thematic objective 1, so that you have investments. In this case, right now, if working capital can be also supported, this you can even consider supporting the short-term financial needs of the companies to finance the measures related to provision of personal protection equipment, yeah? And definitely it is, but this is at each regional level. I mean, unless all in the regulation 1303 of ERDF, there's the general scope of support. We have infrastructure, we have networking, we have equipment, we have trainings, all very broad train. So basically, I would say everything. Okay, you can finance a lot. I mean, but eligibility is defined at the level of call. It's always what are eligible costs. So and at the level of operational program, the co-financing rate is depending on the region, 30, 40, 50% for SMEs. It depends on if this is more developed, less developed, according to the state aid rules as well. And but with the temporary framework, there you can have. I need to look at details. There is there are some derogations for COVID, and in the second package, actually the co-financing. Usually we have the co-financing maximum 85%, 15% always by the member states, be private, public. But at this moment, for the COVID measures, the co-financing rate will be even 100% from the EU. So, but of course, so if you have the measures for COVID, you look at its possibility to have 100% of co-financing rate from the European Regional Development Fund regulation perspective. So, and then you need to look at the state aid as well, framework, temporary framework, if this the measures allow for co-financing according to state aid rules. So this is my answer.
Thank you, Marek. More questions? Carlos.
Good morning.
Good morning, Carlos.
Could you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Ah,
welcome.
That's right. Good morning. First of all, I'd like to congratulate for all the measures that is implementing the European Commission, and but for me, it's really important not to know which are the different roadmaps or ways to rapid access to liquidity, and also to the various measures for helping SMEs. And I understand that all the funds are coming are arriving to the regions, to the regional authorities, and at the same time the liquidity provided by the European Investment Bank is going through member states' commercial banks, but this is the normal way to access funds, and I am saying that you are, as Commission, as European Commission, you are doing patrols between funds and from next Friday, and I understand the possibility to transfer among countries. That's all these measures are very fine, but for me, in practical terms, the question is how to rapidly access to liquidity and to know exactly which are the eligible costs and how to react from the side of a company that wants to have a very certain framework to act, and for me it's not clear, because I have understood that we are indeed depending on decision of regional authorities, that they have a more flexible framework, but they have to adopt decisions in terms of management. For me, this is important. How are European Commission acting for ensuring a rapid access to funds, a real access to funds, taking into account which are eligible costs, and also how to rapidly access to liquidity. I see two ways in parallel: liquidity coming from the European Investment Bank and the money, the provision of funds, the facility to access to structural funds coming from the European Commission's DG Regio, but member states are in principle, manage it with local banks, with their own local agencies, the resources. And I'd like to know which is the way for this rapid access, no? Because all the companies need to have a very clear framework to act. If not, there will be a confusion, no? And we also need an information service to answer, no? Normal questions, no, that are coming, no? As I am in this conference listening from you. Thank you.
You're welcome, Carlos. Thank you very much. Comments?
Yeah, okay. When I look from the business perspective, and from businessman perspective, when I was SME and I was business before I joined the Commission 16 years ago. So when I look at this, I don't care about what the procedures are and what I just want to have the access to finance or access to skills. So what I think let me just explain before I respond to you. I don't care if this is a public administration, if this is regional, DG Regio, the EIB, whatever. I want to have access to finance, but there are channels to have the public financing, and channels to have the public financing from the perspective of the European Commissions are the different instruments the European Commission has. There are the directly managed funds, Horizon 2020. This is the COSME, you know, the standard one. This is directly managed by the European Commission. But there is shared management, and this is where I still being in DG Regio, I'm still coming, and this is shared management, meaning the operational management is done by managing authorities at regional and national level, and this is organized like this by the member states. They wanted to have like this. This is shared management. It's not directly. What we can do, and this is what we are doing. We are now collecting all the information, geographic responsible for regions. They are in constant contact with member states and regions in activities, and they are asking what are the calls, the calls at the regional and the call level. So if you are the cluster manager or if you are the SME, you need to look at the first, it depends on the communication of the regional authorities and the member state, how they to look at those. But there is definitely a web page of the managing authority. If you want, I can provide you with the link. If you don't have in your region, what is the web page of your manager?
Yeah. But the sensation is that there is not
the page of your managing activity is about anything. This your information about which related information sharing. There is no call. Yeah,
yeah. Sorry, I had some problems with the voice. I don't know if everybody has heard you or not.
No, but no.
There are problems with the voice.
No,
yes.
No, will send. Can you hear me? No, nobody will send that. Can you hear me?
Very, very badly.
Can you hear me?
Sorry.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah. Now? Could you try now? Yeah.
Hello?
Marek?
Hello?
Marek?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. One.
Perhaps you could cut the video.
I'm here.
Or something like that. Yeah, we are hearing you now.
I can hear you.
Now, please continue.
Yeah, you can hear me. Okay.
Yeah.
No. So my point is, for in every region or national authorities which are dealing with European Regional Development Fund or European Social Funds, there is a web page, and this web page they are putting the calls. And there are, when particularly when I was dealing with smart specialization strategies, the governance was the issue. You have regions which are very well linked with the business environment. So through cluster managers, and they inform constant exchange of information, feedback, and is happening. So there is no really the issue of knowing when the calls are and spreading this knowledge. There are some, indeed, I must admit, there are some where we have very mechanistic and very bureaucratic ways. They don't contact, and they are like in ivory towers. So for this, the action or activity, you need, as a cluster manager or SME, be active and contact regional authorities, asking if they are doing a call, or because otherwise they will not contact you. This is to wait. If you have proactive managing authority, economic departments in regions, or they are connected together. If you not, you need to activate yourself in order to reach out the managing authorities. I'm sorry, this is unfortunately the issue of the quality of governance in each region.
Thank you.
This is something that, for example, clusters, and in the future we will have discussions how clusters can play a role in the ecosystem to manage regions together with, and this is definitely the topic we will cover with cluster policy.
Thank you.
It's a big weakness in some regions, really.
Yeah. For example, in Spain, we have created a group of clusters that is coordinated by Jorge, was speaking before Jorge, and is meeting, recovering information from the different regions and creating some kind of suggestion, a common suggestion at least at Spanish level for the regions. I don't know if that could be replicated at European level.
No, absolutely. I think so, absolutely. What actually I presented you 2 weeks ago, it was something which was just the proposal of the Commission. You already knew, so you could have you probably knew even faster than the regional authorities and managing authorities. You know, so it's like bottom-up pressure in order then to act quickly.
We have integrated in the group one very good expert from because we are not experts on funding, generally speaking, but we have integrated in the group one expert with long experience. Would you comment, Jorge, briefly?
Yes, thank you, Antonio. So we are meeting, created like a kind of task group to work on this specific topic. The idea is that we know that some regional development agencies are maybe not so proactive, or is even sometimes hard to reach them. We plan to do 2 things. First, what would be the best approach to contact that in a coordinated manner across Spain? Okay, because we know that if we do it, we are very too direct, that we can provoke the opposite reaction that we are expecting. And second, coming back with proactive ideas that they can be implemented. The idea also is that because there is this coordination from the clusters, even that we don't replicate, we don't reinvent the wheel in different regions. So we are coordinating ourselves in order to first propose what is the best approach. Second, to take a best of breed ideas and propose it to the regional counterparts. And we started last Tuesday. Today we have another meeting, and the idea is that by next Tuesday, that there is a telco organized by Antonio with the DG Grow to propose them. So in case that they want to take up. One thing that we are discussing, and if that could be, I don't know if that could be relevant for you, Marek, is to say if we somehow the cluster gets some kind of I don't know how to call it, some kind of commitment. That's in charge of, you ask us to connect with these regional development agencies to propose ideas, to propose instruments that will really help us to approach these organizations. It could be like something that you command us to do that will really increase the opportunities that we can have for them to listen to us.
You know, one of the enabling conditions for the next financial perspective, and for this financial perspective, it was as well to have the smart specialization strategy, and the smart specialization strategies are based on entrepreneurial discovery process. And we know from experience that you know, entrepreneurial discovery process, meaning that in the lead you have the enterprises and representations of enterprises that because the underlying principle is that they have the best knowledge, tacit knowledge, how to spend the EU money for SME support, for research and innovation, so that they are in constant dialogue with the regional authorities, so that they use public money from ERDF for the purposes what is really needed in the regions to build a competitive advantage. And this is something which is in regulation. This is something that we from the DG forced member states. This is the condition for the next financial perspective. Right now we are discussing COVID, but we will come back to the post-COVID. I will in 10 days I will shift from Regio to cluster policy. I've been doing the whole ERDF for SME research and innovation in Regio for 10 years, pushing for smart specialization and so on. We have colleagues, we will do this, and one of the main issues we have is governance. But in the regulation, we have put the clause of having enabling conditions to get ERDF, to have entrepreneurial discovery process, to good functioning. Good functioning meaning that the industry is shaping, is shaping exactly what are the measures and how the money should be spent. So I will be now on the cluster side, so we will push for this. Okay.
Perfect. Right. Just my last comment is that that's very nice to hear, but the thing is that on the ground, that basically depends on the people at the regional development agency, and some people are very receptive to the suggestion of clusters, and other people don't. So if we have some kind of leverage, some kind of tools, the commissioning us to contact them and to work together, that's what they want for good, that will really help us with the people that are harder to deal with because several reasons, let's say.
Yeah, no, I agree, but it's the same everywhere. It's the same everywhere, I know, even with the commission. You have people who are active or people who are passive.
No, but the question is, if there will be some kind of communication from the official communication from the Commission stating, okay, in that crisis is especially recommended to hear the companies or to hear the clusters. That in writing.
It's not only recommended; it is in the regulation.
Where?
As enabling condition to.
No, but for the crisis,
in the ERDF
statement.
For the crisis.
Yeah, it will be good to have that kind of public recommendation.
Yes.
That will really help us.
Oh.
It could be remember something that is writing, but one public recommendation say, okay, stating for this kind of situation, please.
Because that's the excuse. That will give us the excuse to go to the regional development agencies, even with this kind of people. That gives us an official excuse. You know what I mean? And you don't need to say something. You just need to remember. If we know it's already there, but if you put a remember and you put it in that, especially in this crisis, please remember this. This for us is a very interesting tool for connecting with the regional development agencies.
That will really help us.
So for the specific for the crisis, I cannot react on this yet, and I mean to see how we can do it.
I understand.
But thank you for the suggestion. It's very helpful, and then we've been collecting now in the region all the measures for COVID from member states. So sooner or later, I said 2 weeks ago, but it was preliminary yet. We've been collecting, so that I can share with you what is being done at in different member states as soon as possible. So maybe
that will be
if not next week, then when I come to DG Grow. And then that's it from my side. And at this moment, and we will
Time to close.
We'll be still in touch.
Thank you. Thank
we
you very much.
We'll stay close. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Marek. I know that this is hard because we are in a very, very sensible field, and you are very brave with being here with us and explaining.
No. I mean, no problem. I was in business. I know what it is, and so this was my as well.
Thank you.
I understand very well, and given the circumstances, and now I know how the public administration works at the regional level, at national level, at EU level.
Thank you.
So I will join classes. So for this on this web page, which I on this link, you can go through all the. Of course, you don't have time, but maybe if you find something that you would think is more interesting, then you can dip in, and particularly for state aid measures, you can see, and for coronavirus managing authority web pages of your regions.
Perfect.
Or member states.
Thank you very much. Good. We will be very interested in the information that you are going to share with us whenever you can. Okay. Tomorrow.
So we didn't cover post-COVID. Yeah, Antonio, I need to leave.
Yeah.
But
next time,
because at 10 o'clock I go to I have Regio.
Yeah. We are closing.
And we will be discussing exactly this as well. So I can pass as well the messages from the cluster.
Thank you. That will be very good.
Environment.
Yeah. Any okay. Official support will help us. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow, 8:30. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.